Welcome, ladies and ghouls, to the all-day horror.
The all-day horror. Hollywood Theater is closed this year, and they are not doing their all-night horror marathon. Go check out our all-night horror marathon review from last year. But yeah, every year Hollywood Theater does a horror marathon where they show 4 rare film prints, 70s and 80s movies. And we're going to try to recreate the spirit of that. But we're not doing it at night because, one, it's way harder to stay up till 5 a.m. when you're in your own comfortable home staring at the TV versus in a packed theater watching film prints. And 2, we got a sound system. I ain't blasting this shit for our neighbors at 4 a.m. But hopefully next year we will return and actually have to stay up all night. So, the way we're doing it is each of us, me, Peter, Person A, are picking one movie, and then we will draw our names out of a bag at the end of the night and see who picks the final film at the... No, it'll be night by then.
Yeah,
it'll be night by then, but...
It won't be the end of the night, at the beginning of the night.
So, Peter is going to go first. What is your film of the afternoon?
My first pick, or I guess my only pick, or my pick is the 1986 film, The Fly.
All right, let's do it. Good choice.
All right.
Film 1 over.
The Fly, man. This fucking movie blew me away, man. Like, everything about it was great. The cinematography was excellent. Acting was great. The body horror was great. It had a slow build-up. Great payoff.
Acting, yeah.
And ending was fucking incredible. It was just like, this was all around just fantastic. I'm surprised that so the reason that I slept on this for so long is my mom, before she had my brother, she watched this movie and then the next day went into labor, and she was in labor for a long time, and he came out blue, and she was like, I'm never watching that movie again, and like freaked out and like never allowed it to be in the house. So it's like, it's like, yeah, that's why I haven't seen it up until now, but goddamn, it was fucking really
I
good.
know, man.
Super awesome.
It's funny. Last year we started with the remake of The Blob, and this year we started with The Fly. And The Blob and The Thing are like the holy trinity of like awesome gory remakes. From the 80s. And I absolutely love this movie. I think it's like, it's I don't know, it just walks this perfect line between explaining the science but not explaining it too much, to where it's all pretty airtight. But I don't know, just the suspension of disbelief there is really good. And I like how it's kind of a stand-in for like somebody going through an addiction or just experiencing some, maybe even mental health crisis where they're just not listening to the people around them trying to get help, and they just spiral down a path.
Unable to see or internalize what's happening to them. Like they're just viewing it all as if it is themselves, instead of seeing the perspective that we're granted, which is the perspective of like the girlfriend journalist. I liked the ending too, with the kind of like abusive ex-boyfriend / boss kind of being the savior, but also like getting what he deserved as well.
Oh yeah, it's not like a redemption arc. It's kind of just like he was there and kind of just did what any fucking person, no matter how shitty, would do, which is try to fucking...
Yeah, but
and it ends with them just sitting there bawling. There's no like, and now we're together.
Yeah. The ending is just, it's tragic. The story in general is just the tragic, like...
The tragedy of Brundlefly.
Yeah.
Person A, what's your thoughts? We just watched this like a month and a half ago, and we're totally down to rewatch it again because it's so good.
Seriously. Well, and like each time I notice like little details of foreshadowing that like I didn't notice before, like just in terms of like his behavior and stuff that's like laid down in the plot beforehand, like his motion sickness and all of that, and like how that changes as he changes into the Fly, and like now he's running around on the ceiling and shit. And flying across buildings.
He's also not social, and then he
And then
instantly
all of a
goes out
sudden,
and
yeah,
like as just confident, overly confident as hell.
Yeah, well, and like his behavior initially in the beginning when he's like, "Oh, I'm feeling great," is almost like somebody like going from like hypomania into like a manic state.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And so it's almost just like, "Oh, I feel great. This is great. Like something amazing just happened to me." And he's got this like, "Oh, I'm just gonna stay up all the time. I don't need to sleep. I'm full of like this vigor and all of that." And then comes the fall.
I love the slow build up too. It's in the original Fly movie, all that happens is the fly's head goes on the human's head, and the tiny man body goes on a fly.
So there's like a white-headed fly.
And
like,
that's all that
they're trying to
happens.
find.
They're just two separate.
Oh, and the hands. The hands. He ends up with like weird fly hands.
But it's not great. Vincent Price is amazing in it, but
it's cheesy as hell.
It's one of the best jumps from the original to the remake.
There's no
really
tragic
is.
like love story like there is with this.
I think, yeah.
And yeah, I mentioned it while we were watching it too. That one of my it's not one of my favorite, but it's one of my most like beloved movies is District 9. I just love it. I really love the movie. And the body horror in this is incredibly similar. They even have like when he rips his fingernails out, totally a reference to this fucking
and the
movie.
design of the
of the
prawns,
fly is very much like the prawns in District 9. I was just like, once it got to that point, I just like nostalgia and just like I was just like I fucking love this, and just like the fucking ending.
Like, this
is
inspired
like,
so much design.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff
Like it was
you,
so
like,
cool
got
to
what
see
they were
like how the future of cinema was crafted by this over the last
Yeah.
35 years is so totally cool.
Goldblum, all of Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
He was
every
great
aspect
choice.
of Goldblum.
It's his best performance without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He
and
gets
he's
subtle
the
and
least
not
like
subtle
Goldblum-y too. He's very much playing a very kind of.
He still has his ums and ahs, but it's done so good.
And he's kind of socially cut off. Like he does a good job of portraying himself as this kind of like kooky, like isolated scientist who kind of advances into the more hypermania that Goldblum's known for. And yeah, it's so funny to just see that transition and like watch him and still see the little glimpses of like his humanity inside the fly, like how he starts referring to himself in the third person and things like that. Like he's completely disconnected his mind from the reality of like what's happening, and that the disassociation comes with mental illness as well. It's like all the metaphors are there, and it's like super deep, and the effects are fucking incredible. It's just like this movie is just it's a 10 out of 10.
It's
for sure.
It's one of the best of the 80s. Real quick, because we got to move on. What is this your first Cronenberg?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
don't think I've seen. I've really wanted to see Scanners. I'm pretty sure is Cronenberg. But this was like my introduction to it. Besides like references from like Rick and Morty.
It's a damn good introduction, man.
It's usually most people's first introduction.
I mean, it's a great choice.
All right. So Person A's film is next. Person A, what have you decided to go with this evening?
So we are going to be watching 1989's Society.
Oh,
Society.
we live in a...
Never heard of it.
And this, Peter, is a good follow-up to your film because it is also a body horror film.
This one's more comedic, though. This one's definitely
there's more
horror
elements of
comedy almost.
Okay.
A lot of social commentary, and the body horror definitely it gets taken to 11.
Oh yeah, let's fucking get to it.
We live in a society.
Yeah, Society.
So this one's gonna be hard to talk about without spoiling, but I really think we shouldn't spoil the climax because.
So to say.
Because it's not a super popular one, so there's still a lot of people unfamiliar with it. And most of the movie is built on the mystery of
Yeah,
what the
whole
fuck is
thing
going on.
Yeah,
at
is
the
the
end.
mystery, and it does a great job of it, of just kind of building this, like, what the fuck is going on, and trying to figure out, like, what is important to tie into, and what's important to remember, and, like, trying to piece everything together, and, like, what's a prank, and what's actually happening, and
who you can trust.
yeah,
who you can't.
exactly, and yeah, it just devolves from there. Like, the ending is so weird.
It really is. Yeah. One thing I'll say about the ending is I love how all I'll say is it's a body horror movie, and so body horror things happen. And I love how at the end they don't light it with like a pleasant red or a nice magenta like From Beyond and stuff. They like light it with like an unpleasant orange to just blend everything.
And
it blends the makeup and just adds an extra layer of just like, what is going on?
Sinisterness.
So, person A, you picked this movie. What's so what do you think of it?
Yeah, so in addition to like the mystery elements and all of that, I just am a fan of the way, especially too, because this film was made in 1989, so coming out of the Reagan era.
Right out
of the Reagan era, right out of
Yeah.
2 terms
They had it
of Reagan.
coming out.
a shunting, if you will.
Yes. You'll find out what a coming out entails in this film, so the commentary is very about society, and the rich in particular, and classism is very astute for its time, and still, if not even more applicable now with how incestuous things like corporate dominance and like just a few companies owning everything, and like just a small percentage of the population having all the wealth, and like all of that is because like the ending is very metaphorical in that sense, in terms of like not only like the rich benefiting off of the suffering of the poor, but also just
the poor orphans.
the small group of people that basically are one.
Yeah, it's like Weezer says, it's something that you're born into, and I just don't belong.
That whole idea of being born into class privilege, which has kind of changed a little bit, but not too much.
No, it hasn't changed. No,
there's the whole new money thing and inventors in Silicon Valley and all of that, but still like.
Yeah, now there's just less people in the club.
Less people to shunt.
Yes.
Yep.
But yeah, still that billionaire club is very small, and very few people who weren't born into it get into it. And in terms of like corporations are now considered people. So
yeah. But so it's a weird ass allegorical movie. Mm-hmm. And if you're into weird ass allegorical movies,
and just
check this
body
one
horror,
out.
Yeah.
This one's good for even just a mystery though. Like if you're not going to tack onto like the metaphors and message or everything, it's a fun little just kind of follow this dude through a kind of crazy conspiracy theory
like
thing.
a
Like
conspiracy
figure out
cult.
what's going on.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is he going crazy? Is there really something going on?
Oh yeah.
What's going on? And like.
And then the reveal is
it's
just
a classic Is the Town In on It movie.
And then how much of the town is in on it? Is it everyone?
Yeah,
Can he trust no one?
We were making like It references and stuff. It's very like emblematic of like a how the town essentially is in on something, and this one person or a small group of friends are kind of trying to figure out what's going on and unveil the mystery and whatnot. But it's very much more isolated than there's no losers club. It's just like one loser.
It's got the paranoia of Rosemary's Baby with the simultaneously more terrifying and less terrifying outcome, as in it's got a happier ending and also a less happy ending for at least one character.
Yeah, the ending doesn't really resolve anything. It kind of is just like, yep, this is reality.
And it makes sense because it's like, yep.
Yeah, there's nothing
in a
we can do.
metaphorical sense, this is reality.
All you can do is run away with your friend.
There's not much you can do.
And your girlfriend that you pulled out of it.
Yep, who's also a part of it, but has decided to run away from it and no longer contribute to society.
All right, so for film number 3, it is my turn to pick, and I decided I'm gonna pick another movie that Person A and I have seen, but Peter has not seen.
There's a lot of them.
We are doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The original?
The original 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're doing it. We're watching it. We're gonna eat some fucking head cheese and enjoy the movie. Who will survive and what will be left of them? I love that tagline so much. So, Texas motherfucking Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
Toby
the
Hooper's
original.
masterpiece. So, Peter, first time watcher, what'd you think?
So first, I'll just say a lot shorter than I expected it to be. I like for some reason thought it was gonna be way longer, and this movie just kind of like. It's like, here are your characters, and then it just fucking gets right to it. It's like, get on with it, and it just fucking happens. Like, and I appreciated it, honestly. Like, it just kind of, because you kind of
There's no pointless scenes. There are no scenes that just are like, oh, well, let's pad out the runtime for really.
Yeah, it's really like stylized and like very Kubrick-esque. There's a lot of like slow pans into people's face to show like when they're realizing something fucking horrific or something like
when
that.
When it cuts
like,
to the cow randomly when they're talking.
It's the cinematography is just excellent.
It
in
is
this like with a handheld, a tripod, and a dolly. They do so much, and it's impressive. Honestly,
I think it is the most like well shot 70s low budget movies. Like there are a lot, and like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's skilled cinematography really sells it. Like it's not, a lot of times there are plenty of great movies that are just like amateurs, in the woods with a camera and stuff, and the cinematographer knowing what they're doing really elevates this film, and I love the editing especially. I think it's the editing is mainly what sells it, and the lack of music and how drawn out some of the shots are really just make it feel real. And there are scenes where you just really feel like you're watching a family of fucking crazy people.
The cast too is really strong. Like just to put these actors into this situation in the Texas heat in a house that is fucking filled with bones and fucking dead fucking shit, and just it smells awful, and you're just breathing in that thick fucking humid air. It's like I could feel how fucking just under strain these actors were, every single one of them. And it's just like a testament to like what they were able to do, like that they were able to push themselves to the point like that. The final girl, man, she screams and is just sweating and just fucking just screams so much, and it's like I would not be able to do that, to put your body like through essentially like the peak like primal survival nature of that humans can reach, and just to stay at that level of like fight or flight for on camera for that fucking long. Like I know it's acting, but like there's a level of like the location and the scenario kind of take the acting out of it, and you're literally reacting to like what is going on. And from what you said, there were some shots where actors weren't told that Leatherface was going to appear, and so you do get some genuine reactions and whatnot. And it's just it's otherworldly, honestly.
They don't use trick edits and quick cuts to build the action. They kind of just show it really happening.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't really have a gore budget. And so they'll kind of, show things from behind. and stuff. But I think it's really quite effective because the irony of the movie that more people see now than when it originally came out was that it was called like one of the most violent films of all time. When it's really not.
It's really not.
And
there is
it's
some,
just so
like,
effective that it seems like it's super violent because it's violent in a way that's beyond literal violence. It's like
it's psychologically violent.
Yeah, Person A, what you got?
So the main thing that I always notice every time I watch this movie is like immediate like empathizing with Franklin.
Franklin's my boy.
Like
what the fuck's
all
everybody
the
hates
Franklin haters
like
fuck off.
what's up with that? Like he seriously
is the smartest,
the most
empathetic,
rational
fucking person. When he responds and is annoyed and pissed off, it's totally reasonable. Nobody fucking really helps him very much. He falls down a fucking hill in the first goddamn scene.
throws his pee all over him.
Yeah.
People refuse to push his wheelchair
he
around.
tries to be nice to the hitchhiker who he told them was not a good idea to pick up.
His sister's with them.
Yeah, and she doesn't do shit until at the very end. He has to like be like, hey, like I will go with you, please help me, and then he's like, okay, you gotta keep helping me, like I can't get through this in the dark holding the flashlight alone, like you gotta push.
Well,
and then guess what, she never would have lived if she hadn't been pushing Franklin, because he was in front, and so he got the brunt of
totally
Leatherface.
sacrificed
so he sacrificed
himself, man.
for her without realizing it, because guess what, he couldn't run away.
Franklin's also the most wholly realized character in the entire movie.
He has a full, like, he feels like a real person, not just chick who likes astrology and has a nice ass. That is her whole character.
He does. But he actually has feelings and wants and needs and
and they're not respected by the other characters.
Yeah, like everybody else is just kind of like, the one guy's just like, so like swimming hole like around, bro, and he's just like, and it's like his body language the whole time is just like, I am not having a good time. I am sad. I am upset at the way that everything is going on.
The fact that not only are they going to like their grandpa's place, but the fact that his body could have been dug up. Like he seems to be the only one dealing with that, and he's also the only one that realizes that the dude that they picked up, who just acted fucking sketchy as hell in their car, could potentially, and like what he did is like signs that he could be following them, that he could be up to no good in their neighborhood. Like,
his support network is just so horrible.
Well, I'm stoked. I'm very happy that you guys appreciate Franklin, because
Franklin haters, y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong.
So you need to get on the glasses guy hating train, because he's the real douchebag who wouldn't pull over the van.
He did eventually.
So
what else do you think?
I mean, y'all have already said it about the just like the filming, or the cinematography and the framing and all of that is excellent. Like, I can clearly see why Steven Spielberg was like, hey Toby, hey bro, come direct this movie.
Hey broby.
For me. With Poltergeist. And Toby was like, hey, I got a neat tip for you. Real human bones cost less to use as props than fake ones, so we're gonna take advantage of that in Poltergeist too.
It's Toby's masterpiece for sure.
Yeah, and the set design is fucking.
Incredible.
Incredible! You can smell it. The fact that you can smell it. Just by looking at it.
That iconic sound effect, the little you know how they do it?
I think it's a cello, but
you're very close. They take a bow against a saw.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're playing bows against saws.
Which is very on point for the Sawyers.
And just overall a fantastic film. I'm surprised I've slept on this for so long, but my mom wouldn't allow horror in the house as a child, and just kind of,
it's a damn shame.
It really is, but it's like I'm getting my film.
Well,
now.
I'm glad you aren't underwhelmed with it, because a lot of people are. A lot of people like think it's a very like overrated film.
I mean, I could see that if you don't know anything about like movie production or like what it takes to actually like frame something and to have an eye for cinema and just like having a crew that like not a very big budget and doing something like this is fucking
it's incredibly small
it's
budget,
incredible what they did. Like this is a like it fucking Christ, it's so good. Like,
yeah. It really is. There are a lot of cheap, shitty 70s horror movies, and this earns its legacy entirely. Leatherface is the first of the big four of the iconic slashers, and this was also before slashers were really a defined thing, and really truthfully established kind of the little group archetype tropes. But fucking excellent. So our next movie, we've got a bag here, and we're gonna draw and see.
Yeah, it'll be one of our names, and then we will choose who. That will be who picks the movie.
Mix it up nice. Mix it up nice and good.
Okay, I got one here. Dakota.
It's my pick.
It is your pick.
All right, we're gonna watch a ripoff of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre called a Spanish ripoff called Pieces.
Okay.
And we will end the night with a ridiculous fucking movie.
Wait, isn't this on our So Bad It's Good shelf?
It's not, but it's in that category for sure.
All right, let's get to it. Okay, so Pieces.
So when I said this was a ripoff of Chainsaw Massacre, it's not so in terms of plot, but like the tagline of the movie is literally "You don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre," and it's like he's got a chainsaw, so it's more banking on Texas
on the
Chainsaw
popularity
Massacre
of killing with chainsaws.
because it's not about rednecks in the woods and stuff like that.
Yeah, no.
But it's totally yeah. So, what'd you think of this Euro masterpiece?
I mean, it was awful, but it was like, really funny, and
it is really bad.
And it's just like I understand the like kind of what they were going for with like the people who were being murdered, kind of like they recognize the killer, and so they're disarmed. But there's so many times where like he'll pull the chainsaw cord and it's like, "Rawr!" And they'll be like, "Why do you have that?" It's just like the delay.
So this is a production from Spain, and so some people are speaking English, some people are speaking Spanish, some people might even be speaking Italian. And so we watched the English dub because it's the funniest version. And it is fucking hysterical.
Yeah, for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, it's kind of it's like a murder mystery, like whodunit.
It's trying to be a giallo with the black gloves and the shiny blades.
Yeah.
I don't.
But it doesn't. Well, I mean, it's like a really shitty giallo.
It's a really shitty giallo slasher that was years too late.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just it's not acted.
It's got good gore though.
Yeah, I mean the gore is good, and
sometimes the gore is good.
Oh, the gore. Well, the dead body makeup isn't good, but the gore itself, the kills and the blood, that's all good.
I appreciated some of that, and some of the actors. I think I don't know because it's hard to tell with
the acting's all horrible.
But it's like it's done with overdubs, so it's like it's hard to be like, was that delivery bad because the actor?
I'm sure it probably was.
Yeah, it like is what it is. But this is just like a fun, just gore fest, really, that is just wrapped up in like a neat little like high school movie kind of slasher package that I liked.
The strength of this movie is in its sheer randomness.
Yeah.
Of just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's never really boring. It always takes some weird ass turn that you're
like, what the fuck?
Like, there's literally a scene where a guy jumps out and starts doing kung fu.
Yeah,
and then he's like,
I don't know, I was running, and and then I fell down. And then he's like, oh, must have had bad chop suey. And then they use,
Bad
like,
chop suey,
you
are
know,
fucking,
like some
and a
racist
horrible Asian accent,
stereotype.
like, and talk really fast. It's like, oh my fucking
And all
god.
the L's or R's and all that shit. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And yeah,
So
at the
damn
beginning, they've got like a young Sheldon fucking character that does some shit.
The
It's
kid
pretty
kills
funny.
his mom and then 40 years later comes back to
To
kill some random people.
Yeah, and
to
it's like you're
take
trying to
their
figure out
body
who
parts
he
and
grew
make
up
pieces.
into, essentially. But yeah, it's like,
which, if you do the math, it's not that hard.
yeah, the movie's just like, it's so ridiculous, and it doesn't have this like amazing reveal of like, oh, here's just the killer. It kind of just is like, okay,
It's
yeah,
him!
here he is. Like, and it's just says it so nonchalantly. Like, if any of you guys have seen season 2 of Attack on Titan, when they reveal who the colossal and armored Titan are, it's like that. It's just kind of like, oh yeah. They just tell
It's
it to
him.
you, but in Attack on Titan, it's actually really good, and in this one, it's kind of just like, wait, what?
So, Person A, I didn't know this was your first time. I've seen this, this is like my 4th or 5th time seeing this. I swear I thought I watched it with you, but yeah, what'd you think overall?
Oh, well, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Most of the time, enjoyably so. Some of the time, it's just like face palming bad. Like,
Yeah, there's some cringe.
There's way
no
cringe.
character-
It's amazing.
It's so cringy.
Smoking pot and fucking on the waterbed is
there's
the most
no
beautiful
character
thing in the
development.
world.
There's no character development at all.
None.
None.
There's nothing more wonderful than
the
smoking
most
pot
character
and
development
fucking on a
is
waterbed.
the Casanova co-ed.
Even
Kendall.
then,
Oh
his
my
character
God,
development
yeah.
is he fucks chicks.
His
Yeah,
character
yeah, yeah.
development is he goes from fucking co-eds to trying to fuck a cougar. So his taste becomes more sophisticated
Actually-
and mature, I guess.
I mean,
don't
she's
know.
down with it though. She's like,
She's
she's
way
like,
into it.
She's
you know,
like,
I thought,
not now.
I thought you were making coffee, and she's like, oh, some other time.
Next
Kiss on the
time.
mouth. It's like, woo! This
Yeah.
guy. Hope nothing happens to his dick.
Well, he wears jeans without underwear, so that doesn't
Something
bode
bound
well
to
for
happen.
the future of his penis. And then everybody else is just some two-dimensional whatever their title
Yeah,
is.
just
who happens
personality-less
to-
fucking
who
shell of a
happens to
character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Make
Just-
weird
just
facial expressions
A hollow
all the
template to
time.
die.
No, that's literally, this movie is just a cliched template of Italian giallos and American slashers. Right when the giallos were pretty much dead and slashers were piddling out, and
Yeah.
it's just like, but there's something so ridiculously special
It's-
about
No,
it. that I
it
love.
is very unique in like what it does, and it's like it's just one of those cringy, obnoxious horrors that's out there
With
that-
like terrible dubbing.
yeah.
I've wanted to include one of these because we watched fucking 2 masterpieces and one like really dope horror
Well, I
movie.
mean, like the best part about this movie is that it makes perfect sense, just like tourist trap,
Yeah, all of the motivations make
And
sense.
so
how the
it
killer gets away
fits into
makes
the
sense.
tradition
The
that
fact that he left behind the murder weapon and gets picked up by the police, and then suddenly the next scene he has it.
The
totally
juggling
makes
of the
sense.
murder weapon is ridiculous. I swear the cops confiscated.
no,
like
they
3
did, they
times.
totally did, and he's just got another one. It's like
Yeah, he just has a shed of like 15 of these same chainsaws.
And that's
just
the
so he can
thing
leave
too,
it
is like the
behind.
people will they'll be in like a sauna or something. And they'll like open a door and the chainsaw's like sitting there and they're just like, huh.
Oh, what's this?
It's like, there's a
The
fucking
whole
chainsaw
campus is
right
on
there,
high
like-
alert about this chainsaw killer.
And
Enough where like a motorcycle going down the road like scares somebody because it sounds like a chainsaw. But no, seeing a chainsaw in a place there shouldn't be a chainsaw.
Yeah, they're just like, whatever.
this killer too, he wears a big giallo trench coat with like a
ski
wide brim
mask?
hat and like a scarf on his face and
No,
fucking.
it's a ski mask.
It's a ski mask, okay, on his
But
face.
but
and,
people aren't scared when they see him. They recognize him. when they see him.
and dish gloves. He doesn't
yeah,
have leather
fucking
gloves.
dish like actual
But-
like fucking polyurethane gloves. Like
Black dish gloves.
And everybody knows who he is and recognizes him and isn't like, why are you dressed so funny? Why are you skulking around? Because normally you don't dress like
Just
this.
like,
You dress
"Oh,
completely
it's you."
differently.
Oh, it's you.
Death. And then, yeah, all the stuff with the pieces of the body and the whole thing with the puzzle that definitely has lots of bodily fluids on it.
Yeah, I was glad with the ending that they included the because they were like hinting that pieces were missing and stuff. I like that.
Yeah. So we are now going to go into super spoiler territory for the end of this film.
Spoiler alert!
So spoiler alert for Pieces if you don't want to know the shocking ending.
Shocking
Yeah, just skip ahead.
ending.
I'll put a time right here, but
all right.
Yeah.
So dude gets his dick ripped out.
Because the zombie,
The last shot
Frankenstein woman.
is
The
his
last
face
shot.
like because his dick's getting fucking squeezed and ripped off, and it's like, why? Like, it's like insinuates the body he made come back to life. Was he the fucking reanimator?
Yeah, did he fucking
He had some of that serum.
Well, not only that, but like he like made her body out of a bunch of other people's bodies.
Yeah, it's like it's a
So
Frankenstein.
All the women he had sex with.
And
They,
and they
their
all
bodies
ripped his
were all
dick
made
off.
out of the
And
women he had
he
sex with.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god! And if they had gotten the feet off the one woman, that would have been somebody he wanted to have sex with. And yeah, they just rip his dick. But it's like there's nothing to indicate that he had any way to like reanimate the body that he was building. It just seemed like he was making a doll of his mom.
It's because it
reason.
makes no sense. It's just total shock for shock's
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like,
just-
what if the
It's
body
just like
came up
Carrie-
and ripped his
They were
dick
just,
off?
yeah, it's
Like,
seriously
we got the
just
budget
like
for that.
Carrie has that shock scene at the end. And Friday the 13th has that shock scene at the end.
There's a Friday the
Shock
13th
scene.
poster in this movie.
There is, yeah.
Oh shit, there is.
So yeah, Pieces, fucking ridiculous. I think it kind of goes to show, like, you know, I'm not hating on gore with this statement. I love gore, but Texas Chainsaw has significant like no gore budget
Yeah.
whatsoever,
And
and
they
this
didn't
one
watch
has
much
a good gore budget for the most part.
And which one's better?
And yeah, I'm not saying it's because of
You
the gore. I'm just
decide.
saying in the end, it's all about the story. But this movie's fun for other reasons.
Fun
It's
to
true.
make fun of.
So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the horror marathon.
So what were your two picks gonna be before?
Personally, what was your random pick we missed out on?
My random pick that y'all missed out on was a film that none of us have seen, as far as I know.
That would have been good.
1980s Altered States.
Yep.
Altered
About a
States,
man
haven't
that
seen
starts messing around with psychedelics and sensory deprivation, and that has terrifying results. Also, body horror.
Yep, and
Double body horror.
My random pick we missed out on was 1981's The Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, nice,
Nice.
dude. That was almost my pick, dude. So funny.
Yep.
We're gonna have to watch Evil Dead soon. Though.
Yeah,
That's,
I was looking forward to it. I was hoping it was going to be it because I knew that you guys. It was super funny because we Hollywood Theater would always play like trailers on film beforehand, so we've been doing that as well.
Yeah.
And we actually watched a trailer for The Evil Dead before we watched Pieces, and I was like, that's kind of funny that we chose that one as the final trailer to play before the last movie.
We also saw The Fly too after The Fly.
Yeah, the fun, yep.
Before Society.
And I liked how most of the like all of our original movies connected, and the last one was just kind of a fun like horror comedy gore.
that had pieces of all of the earlier films just
Yes, it
terribly
did. It
integrated
did,
into
yeah.
the film.
So this I mentioned before, this showed at the first marathon that Hollywood Theater did, the only one I missed out on, and I hope that we can go back to
I hope next year, man. I
the
hope.
all night horror marathon is the best. Go back and watch our video of when we did the real fucking marathon.
Yeah, you can watch
Um,
our like sanity divulge as it gets closer because it starts at 9 p.m. and ends at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
so that by the
yeah.
time we're filming the last video, it is like 5:30 and we're just exhausted.
Yeah,
we've got Matt, our friend Scott, with us.
Yep. This is small potatoes compared. We
Yeah.
did this 12 to 8, which
I mean, it was
Far more
great,
doable.
but it's like it's nothing compared to like actually staying up all night in a theater with people that just love horror movies and like every funny thing that happens, the whole theater's just laughing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
just, like
dude.
it's another thing. But we wanted to keep the tradition up because yeah, it's like we don't get to go to theaters right now, so we might as well just do it here with our group.
Yep, that's what buying movies are for.
I mean, yeah.
Or, well, we streamed one of them.
So
That's
yeah,
true.
let us know if you guys watched these movies along with us. I doubt that that's going to happen, or if you've seen them. Yeah, let us know what you think.
Society is available to stream on Amazon
Yeah,
Prime.
Society's on
If
Amazon.
you
And
are, if
Altered
you did
States
your
is
own,
available to rent from Amazon Prime.
and if you did your own like a horror marathon or something like that, let us know what your picks were. This is coming out on Halloween, so obviously once you let us know, it'll be after the fact. But it's like
And don't
It's
just
Halloween.
pick
it's Halloween. It's like
big
let us know what
movies.
horror movies you're watching.
This
We're
is
interested.
Halloween. All right, I think we're.
Yep.
Right.
Like
That
if you
about
say
wraps it up.
Halloween and Halloween 2, you're lame. You're lame if you just pick
I mean,
like four Halloween movies.
We're gonna do that double feature next year for sure before Halloween Kills. Gonna have to.
Yeah.
Or Halloween and Halloween 2018 actually. But
Yeah.
That's
Michael
another
Myers
year.
is the weakest of the four. Sorry.
it's true. I take that. I think.
I take that
I think
unpopular
the
opinion.
first
Michael
Texas
Myers is
Chainsaw
the weakest.
Massacre-
He would die in a fucking like head-to-head face-off. He ain't. Yeah. It's not, gee, there's a reason you haven't seen Freddy versus Michael, or Jason versus Michael,
I
or
get 'em.
even Leatherface versus Michael, because Michael would die.
No, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre though is a better movie than John Carpenter's Halloween.
It's true.
I really do. I love Halloween. I think Halloween's better than Friday the 13th, the first one, but
No way.
I think I like Friday the 13th more, but
No
I
way,
think
the
Halloween's
twist-
a better movie overall. I really do think that.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Well, I'm glad. What do you think?
I mean,
For
I'm
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
in comparison to what?
In comparison to the first Friday the 13th, Elm Street, and the first Halloween.
I don't think I've seen the first Halloween all the way through. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of the ones that I have seen,
Yeah, Friday the 13th and Elm Street. Where does it rank?
I gotta give it to Texas Chainsaw, honestly.
number one?
As number one.
Hell yeah,
dude, it's,
cool.
and I'll give it to Elm Street second, and then Friday the 13th, just in terms of, like, the production. I think that Texas Chainsaw, just having, like, so little and doing so much with it is just so incredibly impressive. And then obviously the special effects shot in Elm Street are fucking like otherworldly, like they fucking built a flipping house and dump a fuck ton of blood, motherfuckers get electrocuted and shit. It's like if you like compare that to like part one of Friday the 13th, it's like there's no comparison. You know what I mean? It's like it's just it is what it is. But I think what's her name that played Betsy
Palmer.
Betsy Palmer. That was
Mrs.
it. Yeah,
Voorhees.
She does a great job and a great performance, and I love Adrian King, and I love that. I like that whole thing. I mean, fuck, we got to meet Adrian King, but yeah, just in terms of like production, I don't think they did as much as they possibly could have. In Friday the 13th.
It's just a
Wait
great.
till you see Halloween, because they did.
Yeah.
It's a great standard slasher, like in the best way possible. But Texas and Elm Street just have a certain style.
Yeah, I think
and
that's the
and
big-
uniqueness
yeah.
about them.
Yeah, because the style of Texas Chainsaw is style as fuck, and like Elm Street it definitely had like, especially when it starts getting into like the dream stuff, like when she's like stuck in tar at the end and like
Yeah.
the boiler room
What-
and everything is like way beyond anything that Friday the 13th did for sure.
What's your ranking, personally? Like mine, except swap Friday and Halloween, or
I'd say, in terms of, I have to keep reminding myself not to take a look at them as entire franchises, because all of
Yeah,
them have
just
a
first installment.
bajillion sequels, and that changes. Like if you look at like the sequels, that changes the ranking considerably. Just in terms of the first one, it's Nightmare Chainsaw Friday the 13th, and then Halloween. The only thing that I'll give like Halloween credit for, aside from like the certain iconic character things, is like the point of view shots and a couple other like iconic scare shots.
The score?
And yeah, but he literally just like plunked out.
It's a damn good score. It's an easy, simple score, but it is
an
fucking...
easy, simple thing, but I'm not gonna be like he's a musical genius.
So John Williams sucks because he made Jaws?
I'll commend him for not being a composer and you know, coming up with something that's so fucking simple and yet like everybody knows it.
Everyone knows it.
Everyone knows it.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you get from Halloween.
Otherwise,
I think it's way overhyped, especially considering all the sequels. Although I did enjoy the initial remakes. And I will actually commit a huge sin here and say I like the Rob Zombie remakes more than the OG Halloween.
I think we might agree with you in a lot of ways. But it's the end of the night.
That wraps it up.
And it's been great. One day we'll review Halloween, and Personae is going to have to give her hot, spicy Halloween takes.
Yeah. Hot takes.
All right. Peace.
Hot.